Hi,
And
this is Deedee Mason and my friend Eric Reiner, and we're
hello.
here with Across the Board. Welcome. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, Eric.
Well, this will be seen any day of the week. So right now it's being recorded on Sunday. So if you see this on a Sunday, happy Sunday. Any Sunday.
There you go. Any Sunday, any given Sunday, as the saying goes. So Eric, I think today we've got our bullet points of what we're planning to discuss.
Sure.
And
Well, Let's start off by saying this is the first episode. I mean, I know we're a little late to the game here because it's so close to the election, and people like
True.
Midas Touch and Brian Tyler Cohen and Farron Cousins and Ring of Fire and all these other places are doing this. The Damage Report, forgot them. We're a little late to the game, but we're going to stick with it because we know that even if Donald Trump is not elected, the threat remains. So
absolutely.
So we got 4 topics here. We're going to make it a quick show. We're not going to linger on anything too long because attention span, right? So anyway, our first topic is what just went down in the debate when Trump said the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, are eating people's pets. Deedee, what's up with that?
First of all, this first came out from somebody's post saying that their
it was a friend of a friend of a friend.
Their daughter's friend's cousin said that they saw somebody eating a cat. Well, it turns out, nobody's eating the pets in Springfield, Ohio. There was one report several years back of an American woman eating someone's cat, but she required mental health, and they got that to her. So there is
and then she started eating dogs. No,
well,
kidding.
The dogs and cats, they're taking over.
They're living together.
It reminded me of that Ghostbusters scene
with
Bill Murray. Dogs and cats. But this is not a funny issue for the people of Springfield, Ohio, who are now experiencing not just, attacks on their physical bodies, Black people who are not even Haitian, just being accosted on the streets in Springfield, Ohio. And heaven help you if you do have a Haitian accent, because they're coming after you.
I don't even know what a Haitian accent sounds like, to be honest. I guess I'm not that worldly, but
I'm not sure.
Not only are the Blacks being harassed, but also there was 2 bomb threats to hospitals, and I mean, why hospitals? And also to the government facilities.
Hospitals, schools had to be closed down and evacuated. A police department had to be evacuated. A courthouse. Here's the killer part. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have both been told that these things are happening, and it is a result of them saying these things. And you know what they say? Oh, well, that's good. Springfield, Ohio is getting some attention, because the only reason that they are doing this is because they want the attacks on the immigrants. They want immigrants in Springfield, Ohio to be terrorized. And here, the thing is, these are not illegal immigrants. They are not there illegally. They are legal Haitian immigrants. And Springfield, Ohio was desperate for an injection of humans. They were dying. The town was dying. They needed immigrants. Absolutely. This is what a lot of Republicans don't seem to get about this anti-immigrant stance, that immigrants are the ones that pick our food. Immigrants are the ones who process our food. That is the reason that they're seeing more exorbitant prices, because they have to be paying these immigrants more money to stay here because they're being harassed, terrorized, threatened with deportation. There are fewer of them. And this is the whole thing about the right wing's desperate fear of the population that needs to be birthed. They need this anti-abortion because they need white babies birthed for unskilled labor in the U.S. so that they can block the borders but still have that unskilled labor that we desperately need for pickers, processors, that we always have turned to immigrants for.
And JD Vance recently said that they're eating the local wildlife. I thought Republicans called that hunting.
Eric, that's a very good point. Isn't that strange? Don't you find that slightly bizarre? I think that's weird.
Very local wildlife. That doesn't particularly mean cats or dogs. Local wildlife to me is like deer, fauna. Maybe a bird or two, but not the birds in the park, as they're saying.
I'll tell you, in my hometown, I can recall the guys, swinging into fields off of the streets with their high beams on and looking for the deer and with their shotguns. Just right off the street. Mind you, I grew up in a town called Vineland, which was total farm town.
I was Jersey?
Literally picking. Yeah, I was literally picking at 8 years old. In the field picking at 8 years old.
Well, and another thing, you're saying that these migrants are picking the food and processing the food. So why would they go and eat pets if they have access to food?
You gotta wonder. What it is a play on the old fears. And it's a page right out of Hitler's playbook.
Yeah, no
to
doubt.
demonize immigrants, dehumanize them so that it's easier to treat them as less than human. This is a tactic that has long been used by those who want to do extremely horrible things to people that are not white. Wow. And by the way that you make it palatable, when you see that going on, just like with Germany, the way that Germans found it palatable to go after was by, equating them with rats and
your screen froze. Your audio is still good, but anyway, we'll see how it comes out.
Eric, are you there now?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right, there we go. All right, well, maybe we can edit that out.
I can hear you now. See, we might be able to edit that out.
We have the technology.
Which is another reason maybe we should, yeah. So we have the technology. We're going to have to talk about that AI thing too.
Yeah, that could be another show. But anyway, anything else to say on the pet eating? We know it was debunked many, many, many times. And even though it was, they pursued it in all of their Truth Social posts and their whatever, and all their talking points whenever they're being interviewed.
Absolutely, yes.
And I don't know what more we can say about that.
They're doubling down.
Yeah.
Well, just this morning, JD Vance was on, I think, CNN with Dana Bash, and literally saying, "Yeah, we made this story up, but it's bringing attention to Springfield, Ohio." And he's the senator of Ohio. How do you represent? This is your constituency, and you're literally putting them in harm's way. And this is a guy who wants to be second place away from our nuclear codes.
The man, it's like he had a surgery to remove his personality. The guy has zero personality. Did you see that recent video of him at some bar or some restaurant, and there was all these people around him?
Oh,
and the girl, and he goes, "Hey, would you like a photo?" And the girl goes, "No, I'm good." That was pretty funny.
Yeah, he has zero personality skills.
Yeah.
So I think we've covered the pet eating issue. I think that horse has been beaten to death.
The cat has been beaten to death. All right. Beaten to death and fricasseed.
Oh,
all right.
And by the way, notice my little stirrer here. This is my tribute to cat.
It's a little early in the day for that, isn't it?
It doesn't necessarily mean that there's anything in it, just because I like my cat stirrer.
Okay. All right. See, now where I'm at in Texas, in the thick of things, it's 1:16 in the afternoon, so I officially could be drinking, but I am not.
Well, hey, where did the Bloody Mary come from? And the tequila sunrise?
I think it was from a dead cat or a dead dog. I think it was the blood of a cat. All right, so let's move on to the next topic here. And the next topic is something that's near and dear to your heart. What's the guy's name? Pastor Wallnau?
Let's see. The pastor claims that it was due to dark magic and witches that Donald Trump had such a terrible debate performance.
His name is Lance Wallnau.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. If witches had that kind of power, Donald Trump would have never made it to office to begin with, and he would have killed over before he ever made it to the office to begin with. If witches had that kind of power, so
I mean, how many Trump voodoo dolls do you think there are? How many Trump voodoo dolls do you think are out there with pins all over?
Other than the 5 I have in my trunk.
I've got a couple over here on the coffee table. So this pastor's name is Lance Wallnau. Now, this is kind of like, first of all, these people aren't supposed to be mixing these religious groups who are tax exempt are not supposed to be throwing politics into their sermons. They're supposed to avoid that. It's called separation of church and state, which, remember Lauren Boebert said that's not a thing. And in fact,
right, it's not happening. It's not happening.
That's not a thing.
I'm not reading this. This isn't happening. I'm not reading how this actually happened.
But there are a lot of pastors out there that are doing this kind of thing, and they're supposed to be, like I said, keeping it separated, because they shouldn't keep their tax exempt status if they're going to be breaking the rules. Nobody goes after these people. Nobody does anything to stop this from happening. It's time that our friggin' lawmakers and the DOJ and all the people who enforce laws, the people in blue who Trump supports so heartily, he had them beaten to death.
Law and order.
Yeah, law and order, and the Fraternal Order of Brotherhood of Police or whatever it was is now endorsed Trump. But why isn't anybody stopping these pastors from breaking the laws? I mean, these are laws. You can't have a tax exempt status.
Question. Well, Eric, why do we have prayer on the Congress floor when there's supposed to be separation of church and state? I mean, why was it ever allowed to have prayer before opening Congress? Why was that ever allowed? That was your first violation of church and state, was ever allowing that. Not to mention when a president says, God bless America. I'm sorry, maybe it's politically correct, maybe it's advantageous, but it is an assault on the democracy on our Constitution every single time it's said, because it is a violation of the separation of church and state. When you say, and God bless the United States of America, you are equating a religion with our democracy, with our state, with our republic, and you're overshadowing everything with it. Up until the 1950s, during the McCarthy crazed era, the word God was not on our money, and it was not in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of Allegiance
was not. It was
I hear a lot of people using that argument. Then why does it say that on our money? It's because they're so ignorant. They haven't educated themselves and found out that didn't exist on the money until I think it was 1954, if I'm correct.
Well, look, they're still claiming to be the party of Lincoln. Lincoln was a screaming liberal. Okay, just because they called themselves the Republican Party at the time doesn't mean that's who they are now. It is nowhere near who they are now. The South was the conservatives. Lincoln was a liberal. It was the liberal party, Republican Party. And that's how we repealed slavery. And the South is still pissed off about it. The conservatives in Dixieland are still trying to relive the Civil War and bring back the South. The South will rise again.
Oh, that was a good one. Very good.
Did you like that, Dixieland?
Yeah, you're a debutante. I love it. So, I mean, you're in Arizona in a it's not so red anymore.
No, we've gone purple.
And I'm in Texas.
We have a Democratic governor.
Yeah, and I'm in Texas.
Texas, who has a butt.
Well, I can't say that because I'll get pummeled and probably beaten and lynched.
You gotta, and that's look.
It's not that bad.
We're joking about that right now. Right now, we're joking about that, just like with the witchcraft thing. Okay. However, it is not a joke. It's really not. And this is why we're talking about it, is because where it's a joke right now, just like with the pet eating, it is not a joke for the residents of Springfield, Ohio, who are getting death threats, who Haitians are literally being accosted on the street by people who believe this nonsense.
Right. It's always funny till someone gets hurt. Like my mom used to tell me.
Well, just like with the synagogue, mass shooting at a synagogue in Pennsylvania several years back, who incited that? That was Donald Trump talking about Jewish people and Israel. I mean, in one hand, he tries to claim that he's this great pal of Israel, but in the other hand, he was inciting violence against them, and that was what caused the attack on the synagogue in Pennsylvania that killed 11 worshipers in the synagogue. And then he did it again with his attacks on immigrants and Mexicans in El Paso, Texas, at a Walmart, where one of his traitor Trump's, where one of Trump's troglodytes, trailer trash, traitors or terrorists went off and murdered a bunch of people. And the political violence that he incites is just, I mean, over the top, outrageous, unacceptable, and has to be shut down. Yet none of the Republican leadership seems willing or able to do that. I don't get it.
There was a time, remember when he was first elected and he enacted that Muslim ban? There was a Sikh in Arizona who was murdered because he was accosted by Trump supporters.
A legal U.S. citizen, a Sikh.
And he was a Sikh.
A Sikh. But I guarantee you, Republicans have no idea what a Sikh is, what the difference between a Sikh or a Muslim is. They have no clue.
Well, it's just that, it's the skin color was all the same. So, I mean, there's a lot of people in Arizona.
He's got something on his head other than a red hat.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But that was a horrible thing. That was like years ago, back when, Trump first got on the scene when he was first president. But
I'm just saying, this whole witchcraft thing, it's just another, it's an attack on women who are vocal. That is, every time you hear witchcraft, witch hunt, this is hearkening back to very dark times when women were silenced by fear and intimidation and the threat of being called witch. Just being accused of being a witch could cause a community to drag you out of your home and burn you before there's ever a trial. And this is literally happening in Africa right now. Right now.
They're burning
it's
people?
Happening in Africa.
They're burning
They
women?
are accusing women of witchcraft. And they are attacking them and, yes, killing them. Just last year in India, a woman was dragged from her home and burned alive. Yes, this is actually happening in our world where, they believe in witchcraft. But, it's just another offshoot of the religious fanaticism, that this could even be a thing.
It says thousands of elderly Tanzanian women have been strangled, knifed to death, and burned alive over the last 2 decades after being denounced as witches. So,
thank you very much.
Tanzania. Note to self: don't visit Tanzania.
And that's actually Tanzania is actually one of the more promoted places to go for a safari. So, whereas it's supposed to be safe and civilized, it is not safe and civilized for the women who live in Tanzania, especially if they want any power in their community, if they are vocal, outspoken at all, if they, have the audacity to call a man out or to disrespect him. All they have to do is go, she's a witch. Before night falls, she'll be dragged out of her home and beaten to death, butchered with machetes, or hanged from a tree, whatever method they choose. And they'll rightfully, they'll give it righteousness by claiming she was a witch.
Well, what the connection between what's happening in Africa and what's happening with the guy Lance, what's his name, Wallnau, saying witchcraft is that the violence in Africa is being fueled by, guess what? pastors that are going out and saying this stuff, and it's what's happening. One of their names is Helen.
Missionaries.
One of these ladies is one of these pastors is named Helen Ukpavio. It's a woman, and she's going out there. Woman doing this to children. It says they're getting children too. So it's not just women, but they're saying that the children are also they're witchcraft.
Yeah. Or they'll get the children to turn on their own parents, and
so they're killing the children.
They're practicing with. I don't doubt it. And these are your Christian missionaries. This is the result of Christian missionaries.
I thought you put your phone on.
I did, but it's still, doing little notifications. So I'm going to put it in the drawer.
All right. Well, works. Before I go to bed tonight, instead of saying my prayers, I'm going to put together a witch curse on all of these pastors who are just
you
lying.
You need to do a spell. Yeah.
A spell. It'll be
a spell.
Yeah.
Yes.
And back to the voodoo dolls. I'm going to make one of all of them, representing all of them.
I'm going to have to do a spell to protect my home to keep the crazies away from trying to drag me out and drown me in the pool to see whether or not I'm a witch. Does she float if we tie a wooden wheel to her? If she floats, then she's a witch. But if she drowns, well, I guess she was okay.
Yeah, that's how they used to do it in the good old days, right? I'm sure that
the good old days.
The Republicans want to go back to those good old days. All right, and on to the next subject.
Days. You can drag a witch from her home.
The next topic is going to be, everyone's blaming Joe Biden on gas prices and grocery and Kamala. They're blaming her too. Bidenomics. And Robert Reich has made some good points about how, he posts on YouTube. He posts these little infographics. And one of them said, they're blaming Biden and Harris on this stuff. Meanwhile, these CEOs are making, the companies are making like $7 billion profits, and the CEOs are making, 1,000 times what the employees are making, and they wonder where all that money goes. And it's definitely not. In the products, when another thing, you go to the store and you buy. Shrinkflation is getting worse. I mean, they're using these big packages with only like a third of it filled, and they're trying to. What do they think? We're fucking stupid? I think they think we're stupid.
Yeah. Now, I can tell you, as somebody who's been in the grocery industry for 15 years, okay, here's a fact: Coca-Cola, Pepsi, PepsiCo, Quaker,
Sugar Water,
General Mills, all of them saw incredible profits due to COVID. Why? Because whatever product they did have in their warehouses, they hugely inflated because they knew it was going to be difficult to restock that. So before they even ran out of stock, they inflated the prices. Now, whenever it is proposed to the American people or proposed in Congress that we do something to regulate this, what happens? People start screaming, that's socialism, communist, Marxist, she's a Marxist, communist, comrade Kamala. So as soon as you start discussing regulating price gouging, punishing price gougers,
it is illegal.
You get people going comrade and socialism. Well, the fact of the matter is the Republicans really gutted the department that would have prevented monopolies from happening. Also, we allowed the Chinese corporations to buy up huge swaths of farmland in America. Also, food processing plants, chicken and poultry and pork farms. What do? They ship it back to their place and then they bring it back here. Gas prices, that is set by the market, by the providers, Exxon, Shell. Again, these people made record-breaking profits. The only reason gas prices came down during COVID was because nobody needed gas. We weren't going anywhere. So prices dropped. But grocery prices, because people were cleaning out anything that was on the shelf, they were able to ask any price they wanted. I dealt with the grocery stores. They were having a heyday. They were like, we cannot keep anything on the shelf. We can ask whatever we want, and they'll pay it. They will pay it. So, I mean, toilet paper, for crying out loud.
I know. Why is it so expensive? It's still up there. But
because it is a matter of having people cut, process, package. This is all jobs that immigrants do. This is unskilled labor, again, that immigrants do, that, this is what happens when you don't have enough people who are Americans having babies, okay, which is what the whole abortion thing is about again. We're not having enough babies to fill that unskilled labor workforce.
We're not having enough babies to fill the void and the unskilled labor. By the way,
yeah.
ExxonMobil had a $36 billion profit in 2023. 36 billion.
Yeah. The grocery gas industries, their records were in the billions. And yet, even after COVID, they want to maintain that level of profit that they were seeing during COVID instead of cooling it down to where it was pre-COVID. Why should they make less money? They're not going to bring that back.
We've got the people we got people used to the jacked up prices. Why would we go back?
Exactly.
I mean, but what they don't understand is nobody's getting used to it.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but if they had to pay people higher wages, my God, that dipped into their profits. We can't have that.
So we're going to raise it higher.
Exactly. We got to pass that along. The problem is people who will demand these products regardless of the price that they have, and there's no competition. That's the other problem, is that we allowed them to eliminate their competition.
Right, to consolidate everything into two.
Yes.
Another thing Robert Reich said is that everything is down to like two store companies now.
5 corporations own everything we buy in the United States of America. So it's like, whereas you may have, Arnold Palmer brand iced tea and Arizona brand iced tea and some, a couple other, they're all under one umbrella. They're all under like Khalil or KDRP or Swire Coca-Cola or PepsiCo or General Mills. And you just can't get away from it. You can't get away. And the Coors brothers, they own a huge swath of everything we buy. Procter & Gamble, GE. I mean, you look at what the Coors Brothers owns and Waltons. I mean, come on. We were supposed to be buying American-made products. Well, the Waltons have put so many mom and pop businesses out of business. No more competition pricing. You've got Kroger and
Albertsons.
Safeway. Albertsons is now owned by, Albertsons Safeway. Same thing now. They bought that up. Then they were trying to buy
Kroger too.
Yeah, they were trying to. And there was a big deal about that to stop them from doing that. And actually, the IGA Corporation, which is independents, who would be really stomped by the lack of competition, made a big deal about it and, really went to bat. But they're a small voice. And that's the problem. And also, our Supreme Court allowed for Citizens United. So you have these huge companies having a huge voice, being able to buy more power with politicians
lobbying
than the small people like you and me, or even small companies like, independents. So
my cousin lives in Arkansas. It's a 5.5 hour drive from me. And he's telling me that, there's no more grocery stores left except for the one that he worked for, which is called Harps, which is somehow hanging in there. But he said that if you really want to go shopping, Harps is kind of like a more upscale place. You have to go to Walmart. Everybody has to go to Walmart. There's really nowhere else to go. Sam's Club and Walmart.
Yeah, I remember when I lived up in the White Tank Mountains in Pine Top, there was the IGA. And there was another small town grocer. And as soon as the Walmart came in, boom, shut the small guys down.
The
So
only-
I mean that eliminates your small town, socializing. I mean, getting to know people, getting to know your checkout person, getting to know the person who owns the grocery store. I mean, there was this little small market called Laos, and literally, I was stuck home with 2 babies in the snow. I was able to call this man.
Whose babies were they?
Literally, my babies, and he literally drove to my home where I was stuck. He literally drove to my home, dropped off groceries, and put it on the tab. I was able to go in after the snow lifted and pay for those groceries, but I had milk and food in our home when otherwise I would not have. Do you think that would have happened with a Walmart?
You call Uber Eats.
Oh yeah. Walmart delivers. Okay, in a snowstorm.
My cousin pays extra has a membership to Walmart, so all his groceries are delivered. He never goes and gets them. But
again, this eliminates social contact. This is not a good thing. It's very convenient, but this eliminates social contact with face-to-face human. Hi, I'm talking to you.
Listen, when I'm 3 drinks in, I love Uber delivery. Okay, because then I can get what I want.
I'm sure you do. And I have,
especially in Texas,
shopped online at Kroger Fries, and then I pull up and they load the groceries. But I still make sure that I also get out to the grocery store. I love going to Costco. Walking in and smiling at people, and just the other day, I was in Walmart. God help me! I needed my Amberen.
That's the only place you can get it?
Hot flashes at night. No, I could have gone to Walgreens, but anyway, so I went into the Albertsons, into the Walmart, and this poor lady was looking for those little lights for your backyard, and of course Walmart's already got Christmas crap out. So she's, and the guy in the aisle, she asks for help. I said, you should probably know. And he's like, oh, I think it's down there. And I mean, no help whatsoever. And I mean, I spotted him. I'm like, ma'am, over here. So, I mean, that's what I'm talking about socializing, And she's like, oh, thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. I'm like, yeah. It's, honest to God, I mean, literally, here I was saying, oh, the employee can help you. And the guy's like, oh, I don't know, I can't find him. Really?
There's one employee for like every 50 people, so.
But, the bottom line, the truth is, Bidenomics is working. It is our economy is the envy of the world. Our economic recovery is the envy of the world. We've got plentiful jobs. We've got higher wages. We have food on our shelves. What the hell are people complaining about? That's what I don't get. It is some kind of mental manipulation that is telling people you're not doing as well as you think. Well, maybe cut out some of your crap that you're overpaying for.
Well, not only that, I mean, like bacon. They're just watching one source of
bacon.
I have bacon in my fridge. I don't have any shortage of bacon.
I have bacon in my fridge.
And you know what? I even buy the pre-cooked bacon because I hate making messes. So that's like $6-7 for 10 pieces. I got bacon and it's cooked. But I don't know.
We're gonna have to talk about bacon because I buy it by the pound. I get Applewood smoked thick cut bacon. You gotta bake your bacon, dude. Do you bake your bacon? You don't.
No, I buy it pre-cooked.
You're not cooking it.
I buy it pre-cooked because I don't like the bacon grease. The only time I want to cook
$5.99 a pound, man.
The only time I want bacon grease is if I'm going to make a salad, warm bacon dressing for my spinach salad. But
we'll talk about bacon afterwards. But yeah, bottom line is
I just brought bacon because that was Trump. That's what he said. Nobody's buying bacon anymore.
Yeah, right. I don't know who's not buying bacon. I'm buying bacon. Most of my liberal friends are buying bacon. I know very few. In fact, the only vegan that I know is a Republican.
Oh, do I know that vegan?
I'm not naming names. Naming names.
Well, you can say whether I know them or not. You don't have to.
Yeah, you do. You know them. Yes, you know this vegan person, and these other health nuts. They're And the people complaining about the grocery prices are people that I know are doing very well financially. That's what kills me. It's like, what? Where did you shop? Where do you shop at? Oh, Trader Joe's.
That's not expensive. Trader Joe's isn't that. That's a nice place. It's a good place.
I agree, but there is certain pricing, like on certain name brand high quality cheeses and crap like that, and
everything is Trader Joe brand. And I mean, I look at the meats and stuff, and they look like really good meat. I've had the meat there; it's good meat, and it's decently priced. I usually get I have Tom Thumb here, which is an Albertsons store. Tom Thumb, it's been around since the 40s, but
you don't have the Piggly Wiggly and the Publix there?
Maybe.
Publix is big in Florida.
We have Aldi's, and we have Tom Thumb, and we have Kroger.
Well, Aldi's, that's like a wholesale. It's similar to Costco, but on a smaller scale.
It looks like a dollar store when you walk in, but I mean, I recently moved here a year and a half ago from Connecticut, and Connecticut. I did live in Colorado too, but that was long ago. But so like everything, all the Aldi's and all the Dollar Generals in Connecticut are like super clean and they look just like really nice. But here in Dallas, they're all ghetto looking. I mean, they're not taken care of. The Dollar General stores here are like, oh my God, I'm afraid I'm going to get shot when I walk out.
Really?
It's pretty nasty. But I stopped going because I was fearing for my life. I was only. Never mind.
That's sad.
Anyway, so
that's a real shame. I know that there's a Dollar General. I mean, I live in an area that's rather affluent. Not that my particular spot is, but the surrounding area is. And it's like, how do you know that your area is kind of dropping in scale? Is the sign of a Dollar General store? Well, the Walgreens shut down and a Dollar General is going in. And that's just like, I'm at 56th and this is happening at 42nd or 40, before the.
You're on the avenue.
Yeah, 40th
right?
Street. Yeah. No, I'm in the streets. I'm in the streets. So yeah, I'm at 56th Street, and this is happening just down there, like 40th Street, where they're opening up a Dollar General, where the Walgreens used to be.
Yeah, the streets are east side and the avenues are west side, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I still remember something about Arizona. I've been gone for 7 years now.
Yeah, and then you start at the 0 point at Central, and you work out from there, whether you're going north, south, east, or west.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's actually geographically designed, well done
designed city. Yeah.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's all
on the grid.
Yeah, it's a grid with perpendicular streets.
Except for where you have all the cul-de-sacs that trap you. The trappings of the cul-de-sacs. All right, so I think we've discussed the gas price. I just want to end this by stating the fact that yes, prices are coming down. I'm seeing it in all the products. As far as like what you were saying, where they are showing the shrinkage that happens. I've been seeing that where they change the packaging and don't say that they reduced it by like 2 ounces, but they charge the same price. They're
putting less in and charging more.
Not yet. What generally I've seen is they'll change the packaging and not change the price. Then they'll increase the price after they've changed the packaging.
Right, after they get
once they've gotten you used to exactly. And that is shrinkage. And as far as like chips and stuff, the bags, they fill them with air so you can't see. But
there's nothing in them.
There's less product in them, and I see it on the ounces. When I have to update UPCs and everything like that, I see how the ounce size has reduced. So, I see it big time. So they're increasing while they're decreasing the product. They're increasing profit while decreasing the product that you're getting for your dollar. So that is greed. And when you have unabashed, unregulated greed, and nobody controlling monopolies and unbridled greed, this is what you get. But every time somebody brings up trying to control that, they're called a socialist, a Marxist or a communist.
And contrary to what Gordon Gekko said, greed is not good. It definitely has a bad effect on everyone who is not getting the benefit of the greed. So anyway, let's move on to our final topic here, and then we'll call it a show. We'll call it the first show. But and this is this is the thing that Donald Trump keeps denying at every moment he gets. I don't know why they keep saying that I have anything to do with it. The Democrats know I have nothing to do with it.
Well, the fact of the matter is, the architect of Project 2025, Russell Vought, is also writing the GOP platform, the Republican platform. So I don't know how Trump can try and distance
himself from this guy. Didn't JD Vance put the foreword in his book? Didn't he write the foreword to that guy's book?
Well, you know what? You would know more about that one than I have not heard that one.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Is that the Hillbilly Elegy?
No. That was his own book. No, he wrote the foreword to this.
He's just a poor Appalachian boy. He was raised a poor Appalachian boy. Somehow made it to Harvard. Go figure that.
Yeah, he wrote the foreword to the guy, the head of the Project 2025. He wrote the foreword to his new book. And guess what the book's about? Project 2025, and how they're going to take over the whole government and change it all up and put nothing but Trump sycophants in every office in every part of the government so that nobody will say no to him.
Speaking of Trump sycophants, who was on his plane when he arrived at the debate? Laura Loomer. Loony Laura Loomer.
Is he banging her?
Conspiracy theorist. Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. Honest to God. That's if he can get it up with that little mushroom. I mean, I don't know, but I wouldn't doubt if she is on her knees, kneeling before that disgusting, dripping, diseased crotch spout that, some call a mushroom.
Well, I guess I'm canceling dinner after that.
Yeah, who wants to eat after hearing that?
But Laura Loomer, she's just a nut job. And when he asked her, when they asked him about, why are you carrying her around everywhere you go? And he's like, didn't you hear what she said about Kamala Harris when she said that the White House is going to smell like curry? He's like, I don't know what she said. I don't know. I have to look into it.
I just know she loves me. She says wonderful things about me.
That's what he said. She's a supporter.
So and the thing is, these are the people that he surrounds himself with. The Nick Fuentes, who he was a Holocaust denier.
By the way, how does somebody with the name Fuentes? How is he a white nationalist? That's a Hispanic name.
Well, look at the guy who
I don't know.
heading up the whole guys, the guys who Trump said stand back, stand by. Proud Boys. The head of that group is a Hispanic guy.
Right.
I don't understand it, Eric. For the life of me, I'll never understand how anyone from one of the minority populations could support this guy. It blows my mind.
I don't know how women, gays, blacks, Hispanics, I don't know how any of those people could support a man like this. The man is out to get all of them. He's out to get every one of them.
Yeah, he is. Whereas to their face, as long as they're down there at his dripping crotch spout,
filleting.
As long as they are, give me more Kool-Aid.
Definitely not having dinner.
Then he will promote them. He will bring them into his fold. They'll be on his plane. They'll be in his cabinet.
That's even grosser. He's gonna bring them into one of his folds.
Oh yeah, one of his folds. Ooh, the idea of that. Ooh. Do you think that he lifts those when they're doing the spray paint job?
Well, he has to. He has to lift them to clean out, their schmutz.
Oh, so disgusting.
Whatever,
we're definitely not eating after this.
Definitely not eating after this. As a matter of fact, I may have to start drinking after this.
Oh my God. So, but Project 2025 is all about demolishing the rights of American people. Control. They want to totally ban abortion. They want to eliminate birth control. That's going to be illegal too, ladies.
That's crazy.
So
we're going to be swimming in babies.
Yeah, you're going to have to go back to the method of holding an aspirin between your knees. Good luck with that.
Who said that? Was that Rush Limbaugh? Who said that?
I don't know, but I think there's a lot of women that are going to be buying a lot of batteries.
No, Rush Limbaugh said that he called a girl round-heeled because she kept falling on her back. But they were.
I can't. I mean, I'm telling you, if they implement this 2025 thing and they eliminate abortions, they eliminate birth control, the next thing they're going to do is eliminate punishment for rapists. I mean, look, Trump's a rapist, and they're trying to put him in office.
Well, in the Bible, it says that if you rape a girl, you can pay her dad and take her home.
There you go. Better to spill your seed into a whore than to let it spill on the ground. So, I mean, rape is all over in the Bible, and they promote it to promote their line. So I mean, that's what this whole anti-immigration thing is about. And this abortion bans is they want white babies. They want white babies. They are lacking the skilled labor of white babies. They are terrified that by 2045, the white population will be a minority instead of the majority. So Trump's first administration was all about laying the groundwork with the judges in our courts. Any stopgap that would prevent Project 2025 from coming to fruition, they are eliminating that problem by making sure that they stack our judicial with their judges from the Heritage Foundation. This is all the Heritage Foundation's dream
for years.
Project 2025. Oh yeah, I mean they've been planting all of this and plotting and planning for years.
Well, this has gone on longer than I expected it to. We're at 47 minutes now, and
I think our first show deserved it.
Okay, well, we were just, I was trying to keep it like into a time frame where people can, not lose. See, I'm already losing my attention span. So, but anyway, there's a lot more for the Project 2025 that we didn't even discuss or even have time for. There's so many different parts of it that are going to be horrible for everybody in this country. And if Trump
including Republicans.
Oh yeah, they don't get it yet. They don't get it. They will. If he gets elected, they will finally understand, because if
it'll be too late.
And it won't matter if you are a Trump sucker to the nth degree, where he loves you one minute, the moment he decides he doesn't like you, you're going to go to jail or be executed. Right. I have no doubt in my mind the man will start executing and jailing people as soon as he becomes president. And
he demands loyalty to himself, but gives none. That is that is the truth about Donald Trump.
And I wrote a song called "King of the Sleeves," and if you want to go listen to it, it's on every platform. Just look up Eric Reinert. You can see my name there, how it's spelled, and look at "King of the Sleeves," because it's a song. It's not about him, but damn, if it doesn't just talk about him in every way.
I'm going to go and listen to that right now.
The lyrics are exactly all about him, even though I didn't write the song about him. But anyway, hopefully somebody watches this in the future. And we didn't do a live one this time because I didn't know that YouTube required a 24-hour notice before you do the first live. After that, you don't have to. But so we just recorded this one, and I'm just going to upload it and see how it goes. But
all right.
Anyway, if you do watch, thanks for watching. This is Across the Board. I'm Eric Reinert.
I'm Deedee Mason.
And please like and subscribe, because we're going to have a lot more of these. Hopefully, I mean, we might be in jail doing it, or from the grave if Trump gets elected. Right? But hopefully,
plans on leaving the country.
And even if Trump doesn't win, which I mean, I'm an atheist, but I'll pray for this one. But even if Trump does win, or even if he doesn't win, excuse me, there's still a whole bunch of turds lined up behind him, waiting to take his place. Now that he's set the tone, the copper tone.
They're just not as overboard as he is. The scary thing is if they get a smart person in there, after they have put all these judges in place. So the thing about, and in 2016,
none of them
tried telling people, I tried telling people in 2016, this is about our courts. It's about our courts. The Heritage Foundation doesn't care what Republican is in office as long as that person appoints the judges. That's what Trump's job was. They didn't care about all the rest. They didn't care. And so they were willing to go along with anything, and they're willing to support him again because he will put their judges on our courts. And if he's the one that they have to back in order to get their way, then that's what they'll do. And they don't care. They don't care about the fallout. No, they don't care about the fallout. They want power, they want control, and that's it, and that's all. And they want a white Christian country. They want a white theocratic autocracy.
All right. Well, that says it all. All right. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.